Hey guys, as we enter the holiday season and inch closer and closer to 2019, it really got me thinking, what is next year going to bring us in terms of new and updated consoles? Will we get a brand new update to the Switch? Will the PlayStation 5 be announced? What has Microsoft been up to all this time? In this video, I'm going to discuss what we know about the next generation of consoles and then give some predictions about what I think could be next. There's not much more to say than sit back, relax, grab your favorite snack, yum yum yum. Don't forget to sub, don't forget, I'm talking to you. Enjoy the video and here we go! I have to start this video talking about the Nintendo Switch because I really think of the three major consoles, the Switch will have the smallest update of all. The Wall Street Journal wrote an article about 2 weeks ago claiming the Nintendo Switch will have a revision in 2019. The update will include new technology that will make the Switch brighter, thinner, and more energy efficient. The updated Switch is expected to adopt a much better screen, very similar to the one that Apple uses in its iPhones. All of this makes a lot of sense. I do believe an updated Switch with more memory, being a little bit faster, and a better screen is a perfect midlife update. I'm not expecting any physical changes to the appearance. And if there are any physical changes, I expect them to be very, very subtle. I mean, after all, the body of the Switch needs to stay pretty much the same so the Joy-Cons can still fit. The Switch having a better screen could go a long way. I mean, have you guys ever tried playing your Switch in the sun? Not a good idea. A redesigned dock would be pretty great too. I'm not saying I don't like the dock we currently have, I just think there's room for a lot of improvement there. If you're expecting the next Switch to be 4K or make some drastic change to the design, I think you are straight out of luck. This next update is going to be a small one. So small, I'm not even sure if they're even going to change the name. I wouldn't mind if they called the updated Switch something like the Switch Pro and then charged an extra $50 for it and then lowered the price of the original Switch by $50. Actually, I really like the idea of having an entry-level version of the Switch and then a Pro version of the Switch. Having a cheaper entry point for non-gamers and kids and then having a Pro version for, pros? This strategy will definitely sell a ton more units for Nintendo. Lastly, I think the release date for any type of update will be the end of 2019. This would just be perfect. That would make the original Switch 2.5 years old, and fans would have to accept that it was time for some sort of minimal update. It's not like the Switch just came out and they released an update right away. 2.5 years is a good amount of time. Hello, this is a breaking report. Apparently from our sources, the next PlayStation is currently under construction, and its name will be... Oh my god, who could have guessed this? They're calling it the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 4 has been such a great generation of gaming for Sony. I really feel like Sony has learned so much from what they've learned from their past consoles, the PlayStation 1, 2, and 3, and used all that information to make the PS4 one of the best gaming consoles of all time. I truly believe this trend will continue right up until the PlayStation 5. At this point, we know such a little bit of information about what the PlayStation 5 will be or what it will do. However, I do have some predictions for you. If Sony uses even a few of these predictions, they will continue their dominance in gaming for a very long time. First, I think the jump from the PS4 to the PS5 will not be a huge one, but it will offer many refinements. Graphically, it'll be really hard to make games look better than they already do on the PS4 Pro or the Xbox One X. But I can see the PlayStation 5 push those limits to the max. It will be such a powerful system, and running games in native 4K will be no issue at all. And if a game doesn't run at 1080p with 60 frames per second, it'll be a minority. Sorry, Knack, step your game up. With this new system being so powerful, it'll really help with load times. Don't expect to see any more of those really long load times that seem to never ever end. Could you imagine a world where there are no more load screens? Now that's a world I want to live in. In terms of appearance, Sony will continue to make their console look as sleek and futuristic as possible. I'd love it to be the size of the PS4 Mini, with looks good enough that you could keep in your living room and it won't be an eyesore. I really do love the DualShock 4. It feels like a piece of gaming history. There have been so few physical changes from the original PS1 controller to the one we have today. But one change that needs to happen is the removal of the touchpad. I'll give it to you, Sony. It was a good try. You tried to innovate, but it just didn't work. It's time to cut bait. There were a few games that utilized it well, but not enough. Maybe Sony could try and add more buttons to the back of the controller or something, or innovate something totally brand new. I don't think Sony is ready to give up on VR. I know Sony has given up on other projects pretty early in years past, but they've made too big of an investment to give up on virtual reality so soon. I could see them give it one more try, with way less wires and a better screen. I mean, why not? Let's try one more time to get VR working, make it as good as possible for as cheap as possible, and let's see if this thing could even work. In terms of a release date and the reveal, I really see the PS5 being revealed sometime at E3 2019, with an early 2020 release date, maybe in March of 2020. Very similar to what Nintendo did with the Switch back in 2017. A March release date gives a full year of buzz and hype to build with games being released, so the 2020 holiday season could be huge for Sony. Lastly, let's talk about Microsoft. This generation hasn't been the greatest for them. Okay, I'll be honest with you guys. It's been a rough few years for Xbox. They're easily in third place in this generation. And the sad part is, it's not even the hardware's fault. The Xbox One is an amazing piece of machinery. So if you have to blame somebody, you definitely have to blame the games. One or two exclusive titles just isn't enough to support a whole gaming console. But with the acquisition of so many developers, Microsoft is really setting themselves up great for some amazing game selection for the next generation. The work and investments they're putting in now are really going to pay off in the years to come. In terms of the next console, all the rumors are saying that Microsoft is planning to release two models of the next Xbox. One will be a traditional high-end console. It'll have amazing power and still take traditional discs. But the other console will be a streaming box. It'll be much cheaper and all the games will be strictly digital. When thinking about what the high-end console could be, only one word comes to mind.
Powerful.
This will be the most powerful gaming console ever created. It'll be able to run 4K games no problem and include the most teraflops of all times. I mean, we're talking teraflops on top of teraflops on top of teraflops. Expect the next Xbox to be even more powerful than the PlayStation 5. Microsoft really knows what they're doing when it comes to hardware. And for all this power, expect to pay a high price. This will probably be the most expensive console, coming in around $500 to $600. And now for what I think is really interesting. Microsoft is making a streaming-only companion console. I expect it to be just as powerful as the high-end model, but getting most of its power by streaming it from the cloud. Please don't ask me how any of that works. It'll probably be missing a lot of the bells and whistles from the higher end model, but still be an amazing piece of technology. The one factor that'll make this console such a success is going to be the price. I've thought long and hard on what the price should be of this streaming device. I mean, I do have a business degree, so I should know a thing or two. The price for this streaming device should be free. That's right, you didn't mishear me. It should be absolutely free or near free, like $100. Let's let that soak in for a second. The way Microsoft will be able to get away with selling the system for so cheap or free is by insisting that all the customers sign up for Xbox Live and Game Pass for a minimum of 2 to 3 years. So it'll sort of be like when you buy a new cell phone. You get it for really cheap because you know you're locked into a contract for a few years. This will put Microsoft in position to sell tons and tons of their next Xbox. I mean, who wouldn't buy one of these things if it was so cheap and you just had to pay a small monthly fee? Not only would Xbox be a real success, but it'll really change the conversation and it'll let people know that Microsoft is so innovating when it comes to gaming. I think Microsoft will announce their two brand new consoles at E3 2019. And then they're going to do everything they possibly can to release these consoles that same holiday season, just so they can beat Sony's PlayStation 5 to market. It's really smart, and the time from E3 to the holiday season is about 6 months, so it will definitely give enough hype and enough buzz to generate for them to sell a bunch of units. The names of Microsoft's new consoles are currently being called the Xbox 2 and Scarlett, but I'll let the marketing people that are way smarter than me come up with brand new games for these systems. Wow, it sure is a great time to be a gamer. 2019 and 2020 are going to be really exciting times for all three of the main video game makers. Honestly, I need to start saving now because it's going to be very hard for me to resist not wanting to buy one of these brand new consoles from all three of the main companies. But I don't really care how cool the system is, how flashy it is, how interesting, or how powerful. What matters to me is the games. I want amazing games. And I can't wait to see what the next Halo looks like, the next Uncharted looks like, and the next Zelda looks like. But let me ask you, when do you think the next generation of consoles are going to be coming out, and who do you think is going to make the biggest change to their system? Let me know right down here in the comments section. I'll be sure to get back to you, start some dialogue about this.
Back and forth, you know how that goes.
Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I make content a few times a week. I do some live streaming, all that jazz. So hit that subscribe button so next time I go live with content, you get it right away. Again, guys, thank you for watching this video. My name's Turbo Jesse, and I'll see you on the flip side.